Welcome to another episode of the A.K.A podcast, A.K.A the podcast where we ask questions like, is Ferran Torres a social experiment? Is the Wanda Metropolitano a top 5 water park in the world? And how many white guys can the Lakers sign before we get investigated by the league? So, Karam, since you came up with this intro,
Those three.
I know, I'm serious. Well, what do you mean by social experiment?
Listen, he has 12 goals in 22 games. He hasn't started in half of them. I don't know how he has that.
Oh, like the number of goals.
You know how the people say they investigated Michael Jordan for adding stats, steals? I think we're adding goals.
I'm adding goals. I mean,
Let me tell you something. This guy's not real, okay? And earlier in the season, when I called up Ferran Torres for messing up in the bigger moments, our last 2 games, he's dropped generational stinkers, okay? He dropped generational stinkers. This guy is a social experiment. He reels you in. He's a toxic ex, okay?
yeah, we were talking about how he seems to perform pretty well. Like like we were comparing him to Lewandowski, where it's like even when he doesn't score, he seemed to be playing well. So it wasn't just that he was scoring goals, but
Yeah.
he has been falling off recently. And I mean, I think the issue is with him is that even though he performs decently, he definitely needs a lot of support around him. He's not going to create something from nothing. And so if we have missing players in midfield, if Rafinha isn't playing, etc., then he's going to have a dip in performance. But yeah, he hasn't been great. I think we knew he wasn't like the best player in the world.
No, definitely. We need a new striker, 100%. I would say, like, in the previous game, like, obviously the main headline is Lamine, right? Like, he missed the pen and he missed, like, at least 2 or 3 more, like, one-on-ones, to be honest, right? But no, definitely. Like, I mean, I agree. Like, Ferran cannot be our striker long-term. Like, that's a fact. And what's even crazier about the stats that Karam said is that I swear they're all like open play goals.
Mhm.
So I think he has like the 3rd or 4th most open play goals in like Europe. Like something crazy like that. It's like only Kane, Holland, and Mbappe.
Social experiment. I'm telling you, we need a recount. We need a recap.
So
Wrong.
it's been a while since we last recorded a podcast, which we'll hopefully get better at. But since then, Barca has been on quite a skid. So for context, we played Atletico Madrid in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semifinal and got demolished 4-0. And honestly, it could have been even worse than that. And I think that it showed more issues with our high line and how Flick seems like so stubborn and insists on playing. But yeah, maybe we can start there. So I know it's not a very pleasant game to revisit, but do you think that this is going to be a wake up call? I mean, we lost to Girona a few days later, so possibly not. But at least in the big games, do you think that this will be a wake up call?
I mean, for me, like it was not surprising in the least that they had the amount of chances that they did. The only difference between the Atletico game and pretty much every other big away game that we've had this season, and honestly, lots at home, was that Atletico capitalized on their chances. But otherwise, I mean, we've been conceding chances like this all season, and like I wasn't surprised in the least, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do I think it's gonna be a wake up call? Look, I mean, if he wasn't concerned about what was happening before, my feeling is that it's not gonna change. But there was definitely like an increased number of reports, and it seems like the players took issue, especially because of the scoreline. Like the 4-0 was a bit of a wake up call, and I think that he probably will adapt slightly, at least in the big away games, right? Like otherwise, we're just set. Like doom is like on the horizon, and you can see it coming. You know what I'm saying?
So, Karam, this was the worst loss in the Flick era, right?
Actually,
Or
over
can
his
you
whole
think
career.
over his whole career? But in terms of like his era at Barcelona, can you think of a worse game?
No.
Yeah, this was the worst. So that's why I'm saying like maybe this would be somewhat of a wake up call. Karam, what is your opinion on Barcelona's bounce back?
Without Pedri, we don't have structure. We don't have control of anything. Without Rafinha, we don't have a press. With Eric Garcia, رحنا فيها. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Okay, I'm not putting the blame on him. Listen, own goal and red card, miskeen. Honestly, miskeen.
The own goal wasn't his fault, right? That was definitely on
Yeah.
him.
The ball's bouncing.
Hitch and Juan Garcia both together.
Everything. أكنها هوا فيها. Listen,
English speakers, listeners on this pod, you know.
bro. Amr, don't try this, okay? Pedri Gonzalez. Without him, we are nothing. And then I'm getting reports Gavi is back. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. We're skidding.
Yeah, I don't think Gavi's going to be a difference maker coming from such a long time off. He's been out since what? Since like October or
Yeah,
earlier?
yeah. I mean, Gavi's that is way too soon. Like, I don't even know if he's gonna get minutes against like in the next 3 games.
Listen,
I mean-
at the end of the day, for me personally, we kind of, whether we got played into this, we had to, maybe tactically could have done a bit differently. But like, in what world did we see? Now, it maybe looked nice in the first couple games, but Fermin, Olmo, and De Jong as our cam and 2 DMs is naturally a recipe for disaster. Like, I don't think anyone in this world can justify to me why that is tactically sound. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that was one of the. I mean, we're talking about like I mean, you even inferred it that like Eric Garcia is not the real culprit here. Like the 2 center backs for me aren't actually even the primary issue, at least in the game against Atletico. Obviously, they're not holding up the line like too well, but that midfield, the way that it just gets bypassed for the defenders, and then the way both fullbacks have been exposed is disgusting. Like it was disgusting. Like there was no pressure on any of the passes, and then both fullbacks, my days, man. Like you talk about not understanding holding a high line, and I know that they're not being put in the best situation, right? Flick is not putting them in the best situation, holding them up all the way up on the halfway line. So
Dude, I've never seen a team play the offside trap past the halfway line.
Yeah,
because it's not like as long as there's no offside calls.
If you look at all 4 goals, besides the Eric Garcia, obviously Juan Garcia, like own goal, they're all coming down the flanks. They're absolutely all coming down the flanks, and then a cutback as well. And that cutback, you know who's meant to pick them up? The midfielders, right?
Right.
It's just
It's
that,
a lack.
that's
Yeah, it's a lot of people dropping deep, and then if you're gonna have a high line, listen. I've reiterated this in the past. I'm a bit maybe I actually emphasize parts that people don't agree with. I don't actually like to hone in as much on the high line as I like to hone in on like the lack of press when we're playing the high line. Now the high line's bad. The recovery's bad. I've never seen a team, like you said, play so high up out of possession, right? In possession, maybe you play high up. Out of possession, but without Rafinha, and by the way, I'm not highlighting the Girona game as much as I'm highlighting the Atletico game in this situation.
Yeah, honestly, we're honestly quite very unlucky in Girona game, to be honest.
Exactly.
I wouldn't equate the 2.
And by the way, us having Rafinha in that game showed, again, I actually believe our Girona performance, like you're saying, is a lot better than our Atletico performance. And it comes down to what team plays a high line out of possession that high and at the same time does not press. We're getting out-pressed. If you want to talk about the first goal, of course Juan Garcia makes a mistake, but look how much pressure we invite. It built up a tension that even Juan Garcia, I believe, made the mistake out of the amount of press we were going through. Of course, he's not getting pressed in the exact moment. And the pitch, bro. MashaAllah, bro. Put it top 5. Top 5 water.
This was insane. Yeah, the ball was bouncing all over the place. What I'll say is that I think the point that you guys brought up that stuck the most to me is that you just need the right personnel to play a high line like this. Like if you have the right players in midfield, then it works. And so I think like Flick's stubbornness is the major issue here, where it's like you have to adapt to the players that are available in your squad, who you can put out on the field. Like the way that, like, let's not rewrite the last couple seasons. We have this year the most goals per game since the 2016-2017 season with MSN, which is arguably better or just as good as the treble winning season. So in terms of goals scored.
Yeah.
So it's like it can work, and I actually really like the style of play where it's like it's exciting, we score goals and can have some pretty dominant performances. But when you don't have the right players available, you have to adapt, and
Yeah,
he's just not doing that.
yeah. I mean, I think like 2 points to that. I mean, one, absolutely. Like this highlights, like Karam talk about structure with Pedri. This highlights, and I thought this is actually one of the most underrated things by Pedri by far is his defensive work. It's one of his most underrated attributes by far, dude. The way he covers ground and puts in tackles is one of the best in the team by far, right? Like he does way more defensive work than De Jong. So that shows like definitely you need personnel, especially covering for the center backs, and then let alone what he does going forward. But my thing as well is that I think you have to apply this logic even outside the personnel in specific games. Like Inter Milan, we had Pedri, we had Rafinha, we had practically the whole 11 against Inter Milan last season, right? My thing is that if you're playing a big away game, especially when there's two legs, there's no shame in just dropping a bit deep off the ball. Like there's no shame with that. Like in fact, I would call it uh, like a tactical adjustment. I'm not saying to change your whole style of play, become more pragmatic, lose your values or whatever, but you can have a bit of, dude. We don't have to be like we're saying bombing up the halfway line against Atletico away when we know their entire style of play, whether we were sitting back or not, is counterattacking football. Like Atletico in specific is pure counterattacking football, and we just fed right into it.
I mean, I think also what I wanted to say is the the defenders also seemed a bit defeated throughout the game because even their recoveries were very lackluster. As in, you would see one person's recovering and the other defenders are practically jogging back.
There's definitely
Yeah,
yeah, sorry. There's definitely just to like add on to that. There's definitely a lack of belief when
yes,
recovering. There's
yeah,
definitely a lack of belief, and I
and
think
maybe
that's rooted in how many times they just keep getting in behind.
yeah,
Like I remember even going back to like the and I'll like continue cut. I'm sorry, but even going back to like the Xavi times, I swear our center backs were. I mean, even also last season, when we were playing a high line and they were playing a ball over the top, it was like, okay, they're onside. Now go get it. Now that's our whole goal. Get back there and get it. And I feel like that's been like diminished a bit because of how many times they get in behind.
yeah. And what I was also gonna say though, like it's even weird because now maybe I don't want to hone in too much because I don't think that this is a primary problem that we've had in the season, which is why we've been talking about the high line. But even to just look into like the Lamar's goal against us, Girona's goal,
Yeah.
absolutely no one marks him. Like he just stands in the no man's land. You know what I mean? And it just comes across goal, and Juan Garcia cannot. He can like it's difficult for a keeper to get down on the ground, stop it. But there's literally no one on him, and I think like Lamar scores, and then everyone looks around, and I'm like, brother, was that you? Was that me? Was it? And what it is just like Lamar hasn't has scored. Listen, Lamar hadn't scored for 2 years.
Bro,
He scored for us.
Julian Alvarez hadn't scored for like he was on like
Yeah.
a 10 game blanking streak, and then Griezmann the game prior was like 19 games. Like it was disgusting. It was
Yeah, and
disgusting.
And Julian Alvarez had a couple big misses. Like it could have been worse, even. It could have been
Yeah,
like
but we're
6-0
also
or
the
something.
team
I was
that's
actually
giving
terrified
bro.
of
We're the
the
team
score.
right now that's given like these players like life. Like oh my god, like oh you need to come back. Don't worry, bro. Barcelona, they're coming up, bro.
But the
Don't
way
worry.
it's like they're like lions, like Simeone. I feel like the way he was acting, and this is just how he always is, almost like he was given like a big piece of steak on a platter. Like this is what football players dream of, like playing against a high line like this, especially like the kinds of players we're talking about, like getting in behind and stuff. And Simeone's a great tactician, and so it was just like,
Yeah,
it
dude.
just
I mean, the signing of Lookman is like to a T what was gonna hurt us. Like absolutely, Simeone away, new signing Lookman, and he was just killing us on the break. And he's got these fast wingers. Like it, we literally fed into their hands. And I'm not against like, oh, you play your game, you don't worry about the opposition, but you have to take that into account when it's like screaming at you in the face, right? Like Atletico Madrid away is like you couldn't make a comedy skit about how you should play against Atletico and it wouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was exactly what they wanted,
But
right?
Ademola Lookman, this man was at Everton back in the
It
day.
was at Fulham. Remember Leipzig? It's crazy.
Bro, Everton
Crazy.
before all this, bro, and I said he was a baller. And now I'm watching him torch Barcelona. It's cooked, man. It's cooked, man. Well, I'm giving some players benefit of the doubt. Lamine Yamal, these lot, like, well, now they're gonna observe Ramadan, bro. You know what I mean? We don't know what's gonna happen, man.
You think Lamine Yamal is fasting?
Yeah. Astaghfirullah. Think the best of our brother.
Okay, all right.
Wait, but there's other things we need to talk about in this game, dude. We can't let VAR get away with it. All my life, we can't let VAR get away with it, bro. That second half, it starts. Okay, we've had a crap first half, right? We straight off the bat, we're on it. Wallah, the whole team is going for it. We score almost like 5 minutes into the second half. You can feel the momentum. I swear, you can feel the momentum. A 10-minute VAR check to check an offside, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when you watch it, till now, I swear to God, I don't know why it's offside. I still don't know why it's offside.
They said it was so close, they had to hand draw it, man. They had to hand draw it.
What are you doing? That's not what VAR is for. That's not what VAR is for.
Out here, the offside especially should be fully automated. Like, I understand that you have to draw the line somewhere, but if your automated system cannot pick up that it was offside, then it should just be allowed. Like,
What is the point of the offside rule? It's to not have an unfair advantage by going past the defenders. There's no unfair advantage. If anything, if you watch it back, like they're arguing about whether or not it like skims Liwa's shin. So technically, the pass is from Liwa to Kobarsi instead of the initial shot by I think Olmo, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about such small margins that did not affect the goal in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And then you take 10 minutes to check it and you eliminate any form of momentum that we have. If they chalk off the goal immediately, we're like, okay, we've heard them. We have a chance here. Let's go back and try to get another one. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The players were warming up while he's checking it.
The issue with VAR and the way that it's approached is, first of all, it's not consistent, and that's because there are multiple different leagues and refereeing associations and everything. But like, if I'm going to compare it to anything that I feel pretty familiar with and also gets rightly criticized, is NBA replay booths or NFL replay booths or whatever. In that case, the benefit of the doubt is always given to the decision that was made on the field. So there is absolutely no way that a decision should take 10 minutes and then get overturned.
Absolutely.
If you can't overturn it with clear and obvious evidence, and I don't know how the rules are specified in football, but this is how it is in like basketball. If it can't be overturned with clear and obvious evidence, then the ruling on the field stands, and that totally makes sense. In this case, the goal would have
right. And then you look at the Girona game. He literally stamps on Kunde's boot, dude. He stamps on the goal. It's absolutely a foul every day of the week. I couldn't believe that they didn't cancel it. I genuinely couldn't believe it. Like, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. The Atletico game, we deserve to lose. But if you're getting screwed over like this, like, there's only so much you can do, man. I swear.
Yeah.
Well,
At the end of the day,
it's shady. By the way, I don't care what anyone says. Like, you can't have a pitch that where dude Lamine slipped like 3 times. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Like, you should actually be fined for that. Well, I think we just
definitely intentional. Like, I haven't watched a ton of Atletico games this season, but it so happens to also go completely against Barcelona's style of play, where they want to have control of the ball. This is like the opposite of control.
Absolutely, man. They were just chucking it long while we try to play these like intricate like passes and like triangles, and they were just chucking it, and then the ball wasn't on the floor for them. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Rafinha and Pedri are back in training, right?
Yep. Rafinha, Pedri back in training. Atletico, since then, lost 3-0, right? If I'm not mistaken, to Rayo Vallecano. And then they drew 3-3 to Club Brugge.
Yeah.
So they're beatable, man. They're so beatable. And
Of course they're beatable.
On our day, I back us to score as many as we want, to be honest. Like, that's not our issue. And you look at us against them away last season. Was it last season? where we were down 2-0 in the 76th minute, and then we ended up scoring 4. It ended 4-2.
Right, and they scored 2 more in it, 4-4.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about away at the Wanda.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Away at the Wanda, we won 4-2. We were down 2-0 in the 76th minute.
Yeah.
So we can score. We can score. Like, that's not our issue. It's more about, they're going to be on the counter again. And,
Right.
Lads,
Yeah.
look,
So, Karam, what chance would you give Barca to come back in the second leg?
the math. Gavi as well.
Gavi,
There's an away goal rule in the Copa del Rey, right? So
Is there?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'll tell you
6-1.
something. With Gavi playing, potentially there on the bench cheering us on, I give it a point.
No,
Zero.
come back us a bit more there. Come on, man.
Yeah, actually, wait.
Now, come on, back us a bit more. What? You said point?
0.03.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing, lad? Back yourself.
Ashana,
What happened to the Karam that was in the Facebook comments during the 6-1 remontada backing us, yeah? On troll football. What happened to that Karam?
bro, wallahi, you lost me, bro. And I see Kunde run.
There. Just to clarify, there's no away goal.
Okay.
I thought there was because
So if we but it goes extra time. So if it's like 4-0, it goes extra time.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm giving us like a 15%.
Jeez.
Lads.
I'm somewhere in the. I think you guys are both like. I'm just too optimistic and Karam's too pessimistic. I would give us a 5% chance.
A.K.A, wait. Guys, I have some great news. I just saw this. Happened yesterday, actually. Gerard Martin said, I would not sign for Real Madrid. There are things that money cannot buy.
Yeah, so we're gonna win. So now what's your percentage?
Bro,
Real
now
Madrid
the
kicking
morale
themselves.
boost, now that we've got that out of the way, since we got those rumors out the way, we can pump it up to a 0.5. Because you know what happened here, yeah? 0.03% to 0.5 is a huge jump. Okay?
almost double. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about 0.03 to 0.5.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's crazy.
We're doing something extreme here. Because Gerard Martin has cleared up the air for us. He's cleared the air. We had a foggy day. It's clear now. We have a great day. Listen, Eric Garcia said, bro, he told us he almost left for Como a couple months ago, by the way. He told us that. Because now, guess what? Now, alhamdulillah, he stayed. You know what I mean? Bro, our team is a shambles.
No.
Without Pedri,
Pedri's gonna be there. Pedri's gonna be there.
Only
Pedri's
one
not-
leg.
Yeah.
Brother, this guy, wallah, don't play. I'm telling you right now, as a Barcelona fan, I want us to play our subs against Atletico in the second leg.
Oh my God, you're
I've come to the
insane.
decision that we need to throw it for the sake of the health of our players, for the sake of focusing on the league. I don't care, bro. We're down 4-0 in the first leg. I do not care about playing for the Copa del Rey down 4-0. Focus on the Champions League.
That's what I was
We're
gonna
in
say.
This is insane. He's so insane.
No, listen.
He's so insane.
Karam's right. Like, look, the Copa del Rey, we have the most Copa del Reys in history. Okay, we win it like every season. The Copa. I'm less worried about what this means in terms of like, oh, are we going to come back? Are we going to be able to win the Copa del Rey this season? And more so, what this means for when we play against PSG in the Champions League, for
Of
example.
course. No, I agree with that. I'm not against that. Like, for me, if we ended up just winning the Copa del Rey versus going trophyless, for me, that's not a big deal at all.
Yeah, there's no difference almost.
For me, there's no difference almost. I see the Copa del Rey similarly to how you just explained it, to be honest. Like, I see it as like we got the treble, we didn't get the double type thing. But like at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But to say that we have no chance and we shouldn't try, let alone the fact that like I don't think one game is gonna be the reason why we end up dropping points in like the next league game, the next Champions League game. And the fact that they had just lost to Rayo Vallecano 3-0, I don't see why not. We can't score a fourth and go extra time. Like
Listen,
I don't see that at all. Especially with Pedri, Rafinha back.
We play Villarreal before, we play Athletic Bilbao after. We're sandwiched in a hard place, okay? I am telling you, I would rather see the likes of Rooney Barthéji get his minutes. I'd rather see some players get the minutes to ramp themselves up for a long-term push for both the league and the Champions League, rather than risk. For example, first of all, I would not want to risk Pedri at a game like this. If we can
Well,
rest,
for me, the way I see is that we'll have 2 games before that. I think he should be able to get up to like game speed. Like it's not like
I want him to play as much as he can against Villarreal without also forcing him to play against Atletico, then forcing him to play against Bilbao. I don't want him to play all 3 games. I want him to play in 2 of the 3, for example. I don't want him to have to play midweek.
I
I
mean,
don't.
you can always sub players off. Like the way I see it is that like after the Atletico game, whether we win or lose, the Copa del Rey isn't going to be a factor, right? Like it's just going to be the final. Like it's not like that's going to come in between Champions League games and league games. So I don't see it as like a fitness issue. If this was like round of 16, I swear I hear it. I swear I hear it because then that's going to impact us down the line. But to be just one-off game to the final, I feel like we should definitely go for it. We shouldn't just forfeit from minute one.
Not forfeiting. I mean, I'm saying still play good. I'm not saying play like the worst players we have. I'm just saying do not risk anyone remotely play. So most of them are like bench people that sometimes play. I wouldn't play Rafinha. I wouldn't play.
Not from the
I
I mean,
start.
let's be realistic
I
though.
wouldn't play
Like,
Pedri. I wouldn't play Gab. I could play
We're talking
Gavi.
about the Copa del Rey semi-final, dude. Like,
let's be
What?
realistic. Do you understand? Like, do you think that Flick or even the Barca players or Barca as an organization would feel comfortable just throwing that game? There's
Of
no
course,
way.
I don't
It
think.
kind of
I don't. I just think you don't go 100% for it. I think there's just 2 different arguments we're having here. I'm not saying throw it. I'm saying play the players that don't get minutes, that deserve minutes. Play the people that
If you're saying don't play Pedri and Rafinha, you're saying throw it.
I'm saying focus on the league, and if it hurts our chances to win the Copa del Rey, then so be it. Because end of the day, maybe this is a weird way to look at it. Maybe I'm Real Madrid obsessed. If Real Madrid aren't still in the competition, then us losing it isn't as big of a deal versus Real Madrid winning it.
it's
Hey,
true.
man.
No, it's 100% true.
It is.
Like that is 100% true.
This is
When
like
on the
such a
during the
like
season,
inferiority complex. No,
If Real
like
Madrid was on the other side, if Real Madrid was on the other side of the semifinals bracket right now, I'd be like, we need to be there in the final
Look,
to
I
go.
appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty. But that's like, from my perspective, as a fan of your football club, you just want them to win, end of the day. Like, whether that's against Atletico or Real Madrid. It's insane to
I'm
say
just
just
saying the
throw
Copa
away
del
the
Rey
game.
does not mean much to me. I'm just saying the Copa del Rey does not mean much to me because
No,
of
I
the
agree.
game.
No, the thing is, we're on the same page with the Copa del Rey not being that big of a tournament for the season and in the grand scheme of things. Like Ahmed said, we have the most in history, right? If you only win the Copa del Rey, doesn't make a dent in, like, it's like a plus almost. Like, to be honest, maybe that's because we're spoiled with it. But to just throw it away, even to do with like the morale for the rest of the season, like if we end up winning that game, don't you think that we can even kick on in the league and the Champions League? Like I wouldn't see them be like, oh, we
no.
won that, but like we're
Well,
tired.
or
Oh, if you play
You
your
can
bench,
always
if you don't play your 100% strength team, I don't think that necessarily destroys your morale in any way. And you're better.
I think
You're
it's
better.
like throwing it away.
You're playing Villarreal the game before. You're playing the
I
team.
think
that
it
scored.
is kind
It
of
is
it is
throwing it away
giving
though.
up in
Giving
a
up.
lot of ways, and I think the players. What I'm saying is unrealistic. Is that I think like I don't completely disagree with Karam from like a very like trying to be practical kind of standpoint, but there's absolutely no way the players are going to be okay with that. There's no way
Forfeit the
Flick's
game.
going to be okay with that. They want to redeem themselves, so I just don't think it's going to happen regardless. But I also do agree with Karam about the Real Madrid thing, and I saw like inferiority comp. These are like our universal rivals, and I'm sure that they feel the same way about Barcelona. In the seasons where neither Barcelona or Real Madrid win the Copa del Rey, it's 100% forgetful for me. The Copa del Rey
I
campaign,
agree. I
whatever.
agree with that.
When Real Madrid wins, you start thinking like, oh, we let them get one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I hear that. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But like, it's just more like I feel like even if we wanted to go with the strategy of let's rest players for the next game, we can always hook them, dude. Like if it's the 60th minute, you can just sub them off. Like I don't see it as giving up from minute one.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Should we take a small break? Then I want to talk about Rashi.
Just Rashford. Okay.
Pause it. All right, guys. For some reason, this has been like really on my mind. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. I don't know why. I just feel like I really like him as a guy. Feels like he's my buddy.
Is
All
that
my
it?
life in the beginning of the season. Actually, mention who you're talking about first.
Yeah, it's Rashford. Yeah, I was killing him to begin the season, but now, okay. So, we Barcelona has an option to buy Rashford at the end of the loan at the end of this season. The fee is believed to be reported by ESPN to be around 30 to 35 million euros. Rashford wants to stay at Barca, and Barca is trying to negotiate the clause down, but Manchester United won't budge. So, do you want to see Rashford at Barcelona next season?
First of all, what is going on? Because in the beginning of the season, when he was balling, you were against him.
Yeah,
Now
strange.
that he's become dusty, you're with him. Is this
Dude,
like
there's something about I just feel so bad for him for some reason.
Okay.
He's
Look,
also our top scorer in the Champions League.
Ahmed, why do you want him to stay? Just to clarify this point, is it because you feel bad for him, or is it because of
Yeah.
footballing reasons?
No, it's because I feel bad for him, and it's because
Land.
bro, there's something about his like face, that makes me feel like he's a puppy. Like I feel so bad for him for some reason, and I just
All right.
want
I can tell you why I want him to stay from like a football perspective. Okay, as long as he's in the look, I still don't know how we haven't been able to sign anyone even in this past window. Like the best that we could do is a loan of Cancelo. So if he's eating up,
I was going to talk about A.K.A. Tavares. We just signed Norwich.
Yeah, for Barca be in it.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So man, maybe lose my train of thought. Well, I brought up Tavares, crazy one. Yeah.
Well, Egyptian brother. I'm the Egyptian brother.
That like Al-Ahli fans don't even know. It's crazy. But okay, so where was I?
Rashford.
why you want him to stay.
Okay, yes. Okay, so if he's eating up the budget, right? And I knew he was on like 300K a week or something like that, Man U. Then we have bigger priorities, right? We need center backs, we need a striker, and so on. Other than that, I think he should stay because he just gives us a different option. Like for me, even against Atletico, the fact that we didn't have him on the left didn't even give us like get out of jail card, which is like booted up to Rashford on the wing and at least have them to worry about something on the break. You know what I mean?
For 35 million though?
I mean, again, it depends on our budget. Like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that that's that much money in the market.
Let's say you have only 30 to 35 million.
Yeah, then no. Like I said, we have bigger priorities.
Bro, that's so
We
sad.
have bigger priorities.
We only
Yeah.
have 35 million to spend.
But in the grand scheme of things, we have bigger priorities.
What are they?
A left center back, for sure, and probably another DM.
I'd
Oh,
cry
and
for
of course, if like the fullbacks don't pattern up, like we need new fullbacks. Like we can't continue with how Koundé is playing. Like Koundé was one of my most underrated players of last season, and I thought he was one of the best fullbacks in the world. But if he continues playing like this, you need a right back. You know what I'm saying? Also,
Yeah.
Balde, like he kind of gets away with murder sometimes. But for me, yeah, that's why I'd keep him. Like he gives us a different attribute. I feel like in the Champions League, he really comes alive more than in La Liga, because I guess the nature of like the European teams is that they play like higher lines, more expansive. In the La Liga games, he's a bit more anonymous because I guess we're trying to play like more tiki-taka football, and he doesn't get that involved.
I like having a British Donny on the team. I don't know why.
Okay, so your reasons, you feel bad for him. He looks like a puppy, and
Look at him. Oh wait, who's that?
what was this, brother? Ghanaian left off.
I was like, look at him. I thought that was Rashford.
By the way, we signed this guy from Ghana, bro. We just signed him.
It's like Musa Wag. Remember
Bro,
Musa Wag?
Accra Lions. What? Don't take the piss right now. Don't make me scrap. How about wait. Patricio Pafico. What's his name?
Amr, who would be your ideal center back signing this summer?
Bastoni.
That's not Inigo Martinez. Who? Bastoni?
Bastoni's left-sided center back.
Oh, bro, I saw a stat of like the amount of passes breaking line passes he makes in the league. He's, like out of everyone, he's like top.
Who,
Great.
Bastoni?
Bastoni, he's like by far the best.
Wallah, I thought he was talking about Oduro, the guy he just showed us, the Ghanaian left back. Like, there's no way.
Bro, chill. Don't make me
You've
scrap.
been watching YouTube compilations. What about
But hey, man, I'll take anyone at this point. Like, I'm not that picky. Like, Bastoni's the absolute dream. But
okay, let's talk about Arsenal. So last time we were on the pod, we brought on our friend Muhammad
Yes.
to Muhammad Nunu to
Yep.
kind of just showing us random players to
Yeah.
discuss Arsenal's recent form. And I have a lot of Arsenal fans in my life for some reason. I guess I attract pathetic people. And so,
Of
and
course.
so since we last
Yes.
spoke about Arsenal, they that was right after the
Before Sunderland or Leeds, whichever one.
Yeah. So they had 4 games since. They had, I mean, technically, they had a couple other ones in the cups, but I'm gonna exclude those because we're talking about league form.
Yeah, because you're just trying to
So-
thrash him.
So they played Leeds, Sunderland, Brentford, and Wolves. How many points, if I just told you that, do you think they should be getting to win the league from those 4 games? Leeds,
12.
Sunderland, Brentford, Wolves. Obviously, you know the reality, but how much do you think on paper they should be getting?
they
from
should have
those
beat all those teams.
9 or I think 10. I think you have to beat Wolves. I think you should beat Sunderland, who've been like absolutely sliding. Leeds you should beat, and Brentford away tie made sense.
You can allow a tie. Well, they got 8, right? So
Yeah.
they drew. I mean, I think
Which is fine.
any Arsenal or Prem fan would tell you the inexcusable one was when you're 2-0 up against bottom of the league, Wolves, the most recent one.
Yeah.
But man, can I say something though? And it's listen, Arsenal, no doubt, like they're not playing with enough. Especially that second half against Wolves, I think was their worst performance of any of those. I mean, clearly better than worse than the Leeds and Sunderland game, but like comparatively to the Brentford game, that second half against Wolves, 0 character, 0 attempt, absolute look like crybabies. Like they didn't want to play football. Okay. But I will say, I actually do feel kind of bad that they've absolutely been like shagged with the timing of some of the time they're playing these teams. Like Man U, arguably the worst time you could have played Man U. Wolves, new manager bounce. It was Vitor Pereira, I think, is the new coach.
No, that's Forest, no? Forest.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I mean, with the Wolves, and like I just mean in general, like all these teams, I feel like you're coming up against them once they've picked up form. Like Wolves have actually been good in their past like 5.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
can't
but
like
good's a stretch when we're talking about like top of the league versus
winning the
bottom.
league. Exactly.
No.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you're winning the league. You're competing with Manchester City, like over the last like over a decade time, the most dominant team in the Premier League, and they're right on your tail. They have a game in hand, and they're only 5 points behind Arsenal right now. You just can't be like making these kind of excuses, especially when you've been knocking on the door season after season.
And I think for me, the biggest concern with Arsenal is because everyone and even their post-match press conferences are all talking about non-footballing reasons as to why you feel like they're slipping, right? So they're all talking about mentality, confidence, character. Like these are the things that they're talking about. And for me, I almost prefer it being a footballing issue where you can solve it like tactically or with like a change in
Yeah.
person, right? It's like for me, it's very scary once you start talking about like, oh, they're just bottling it and they're nervous and things like this. And maybe it's because the journalists are putting the questions to the like to the Captain Rice and Arteta is like, bro, all the media that I'm reading about Arsenal is like them saying, oh, like yeah, we know, like people are saying we're bottling it. Like you can feel like it's an actual
Right. Yeah. Just the fact that it's coming up and it's a point of conversation is definitely concerning. Like if this was the first season that Arsenal was trying to go for the league and it was the exact same situation with Manchester City on their tails, they'd be like, and this literally happened. Like the first season that Arsenal was competitive, people would be like, oh, it'd be really cool if they could hang on. But now it's like you have to hang on. Like
yeah, I mean, to Kadam's point about like the new manager bounces and stuff is like their next game is Spurs, which is always already like a big game. And
Yeah.
look, on paper, what are they 17th right now? Spurs, something like that, something disgusting like 16th,
16th, yeah.
right?
They have 3 losses and 2 draws in the last 5.
Right. Okay, and then Arsenal are first, North London derby, but then they have a new manager, and they're trying to ruin.
We got
Yeah.
Trudeau.
By the way, I think he's like flopped at Juve and all that, but like it is also another recipe for disaster. At the same time, you could argue that this is also Arsenal's opportunity to like reset, right? It's Spurs. Like if you wall up Spurs, everyone's happy, regardless of anything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing playing to Arsenal's advantage is I actually don't like how Man City have been playing. I feel like they're winning games more off vibes rather than like actually beating teams. Their win
Mm.
against Liverpool very shaky.
Mm.
All their wins in the recently have been like, okay, maybe that is what Man City is at this point. They have a bunch of insanely good
Yeah,
players.
it's just so
They're
crazy
winning.
how like I agree with you, and then for some reason they just keep winning. Like
Yeah,
there's something like it's like we're watching two opposite teams.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
you see like this like perfectly constructed like personnel and tactics with Arsenal, and then they'll just keep losing. They just won't score. They'll keep losing. Whereas like City's got this like inherent winning mentality that's just getting them through.
It is,
Oh,
yeah. When you've won before and you have that confidence, and also
it's like
honestly, you're kind of like playing with house money at this point. If you're Manchester City, obviously they want to win the league every season, but they've won it so many times at this point, and the fact that they're the chasers also obviously puts less pressure on them. The fact that they started off the season so poorly, and probably maybe internally they expected to be in this position, but I think a lot of people there was a lot of conversation about have they just fallen off? Is the Manchester City era over? So on and so on. So like they're just playing with less pressure, and I think that plays a huge role in
definitely.
in how.
I mean, it does feel like a game of football, like in the sense of when the momentum switches, like you just know at Anfield when they scored in the first minute against Barcelona, we knew like okay, we're gonna lose. Like that's it. You know what I
uh,
mean? Like it feels like it is kind of like the momentum's on City's side right now, and it feels like it's inevitable. Even though, like, dude, they had an 8 point gap. You're like, you know what? It's fine. It's 8 points. They're
yeah.
bottom 5 points. It's fine, but it's still 5 points. They're still 5 points ahead of Man City as we speak. Yes, a game in hand, but you just feel it's coming. It's coming.
Man City has the game in hand, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's gonna
I mean,
become.
if you
We're
look
gonna
at
play
like
each other.
if you look at Arsenal's point tally and you compare it to the likes of like when Man City and Liverpool were competing for the titles, it's really not an impressive point tally at all. Like so
I
far,
don't know.
17 wins, 7 draws, 3 losses. I did the math. If you calculate that to the like La Liga standards, don't get me wrong, the Prem teams are more like difficult
We're
throughout.
sort
In
of,
that
yeah.
in the Prem, if you had say Arsenal had 24 games with the same like point ratio, they'd barely be third. You know what I mean in La Liga. So it's like you do. It is like they have drawn 7 times. That is like that is very impressively large number. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Definitely,
But
definitely. I
again,
mean,
I think Arsenal are built for knockouts. And again, this might be a controversial thing to say. The people don't really say it. I personally don't look at the Arsenal team top to bottom, and I don't think I'm impressed with the majority of these players in terms of their quality. I actually think that this is a well-machined team. I don't like Gabriel plays like one of the best center backs in the world. I believe that this is due to Arteta's system that really covers for the mistakes he could show what he did when Arsenal used to play a bit more expressive back in the day. Like I think Arteta has built a team built for knockout games, a lot more machine oriented. It's not a lot of expression. But like I don't like for example Martinelli. I've never thought of him as some like
yeah, I mean,
amazing. I've
I
never thought
think,
of these players. These players are
yeah,
all
I
like
mean, for me, on that point, I think their attack is subpar. Like their attack is like, for me, their midfield and defense is impressive, but their attack, like the personnel, is just not. It's not it. Like to be honest, like the only person that you can say on paper or two people on paper that should be banging it is Saka and arguably Gyökeres, just because of where he came from and what he did last season. But besides that, I think their attack is very, I mean,
it's,
very
it's
mid.
it's been 23 games in the Prem. How many goals and assists do you think Saka has? I just want predictions.
I think it's 6, dude. I don't think it's like I think it's nothing.
Ahmed, 23 games, goals and assists. Keep in mind, Ferran Torres has 12 goals. You know what I mean in La Liga. Like I just say it.
Probably a couple of assists as well.
Like, yeah, like something like that, like 7 maybe.
He has 9. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you understand how insanely poor of your meant to, by the way, meant to be your best player.
Yeah.
9 goals and
Contact.
assists in
Yeah.
23 Premier League games is subpar. By the way, you see these numbers of any mid player in
Yeah,
the Premier
obviously
League.
he was injured. Like, how many games has he played?
23 Prem games this season. 23.
No, him. He's played 23.
Saka's played 23 Prem games.
No way.
He's been hurt recently, right?
Overall, there's 23 games. How many games?
No. This season
It's
has
been 27 games.
Oh, okay.
He's only missed 9 goals and assists. Bro, the season before, in 25 games, he had 16 goals and assists.
Yeah, no. He's been.
In 35 games, the season before, he had 25. Bro, we can compare this to any mid forward in the Premier League. That's not good. That's horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's horrible.
Yeah, no. Their attack has been, and I do wonder sometimes, like, is their attack that the attackers are not performing, or is it how Arteta has them set up to be so pragmatic that's stopped these attackers from scoring, right? Because we can all objectively say Saka's a baller. Maybe he's dipped in form this season, but you see him for England. You see him last season. He's a baller, right?
Yeah.
Now this season, the whole attack is stagnant. The whole attack is crap.
Do you guys want to get Martinelli in 21 games? Keep in mind subbing on for this game.
Like, do you have his minutes or no?
I can pull them up. Go on. What do you guys think?
I mean, like it's less than Saka. Like, it's got to be less than Saka. So I'm saying,
I'm gonna say if Saka's 9, then he's probably at 7.
6, 7. Sorry, 5 maybe.
He has 3.
Bumbleclaw.
As a footballer, attacker in the Premier League.
Oh man.
I don't know if so. He's
By the way,
played.
if you tell me Gyökeres stats, sorry, I was just gonna say, if you tell me Gyökeres stats, I'm not even gonna I'm gonna chop off half, because I know half of them came against like fodder relegation sides, and he's scoring the 3rd or 4th goal. You know what I'm saying?
So for context, it's been in 709 minutes. Now, okay, I'll say one thing. In the Champions League, we know they're flying.
Yeah.
He has 6 goals, 1 assist.
Players like Martinelli, like Rashford, they like a Champions League game. There's much more space. They're running in behind on the left. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
like,
do you guys want to? So, Kadam kind of alluded to this, but yeah, Arsenal has benefited a lot from how poor a lot of the top teams in the Premier League have been this season, like Liverpool, Manchester City, like their direct rivals. And if they win the league, then all of this is going to be like brushed over. No one really cares.
On paper right now, by the way, in the Carabao Cup finals, semifinals, something like that. They're in the FA Cup still. They're top of the Champions League and top of the Prem.
But their performances in the Prem have been poor compared to historic results from like other league leaders at this point in the season. So they have 58 points through 27 matches. Do you want to guess how many points Leicester City had through 27 matches in 2015, 2016?
Which, by the way, historically, people talk about that Leicester team as not accruing that many points by the end of the season. Like, people had the same thing.
No, not at all, yeah.
Yeah, people were even saying that season that the Prem was, like, subpar. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. They were at, like, mid-80s in points. I can't remember the exact. Manchester City has hit the 100 mark on most.
At this point, you're saying?
Yeah.
At this point, I think Leicester...
60?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say 60.
Close, 56. So they're almost on par with Leicester in that season. And that season was rough in the Premier League, for sure. It was between Leicester and Tottenham. And, I mean, like, even last season, what was the final tally was, okay, so Liverpool had 84 points, which was not great either. But then the previous season, 91.
Is like, it's like valid. Like, we're also talking about, like, Klopp and Pep put such disgusting standards at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Now
we're also comparing to like La Liga standards, where it's like if you hit 100 points, like that's a terrific season. But
yeah.
7 draws, 3 losses is objectively bad, though.
And my thing is that 2 of those draws just came from Brentford and Wolves. Like, there's Chelsea on the horizon. There's Brighton away. Like, there's Spurs coming up next. Like, there's still some very difficult. They're obviously going to still have to play City. There's
Yeah,
still
they're
some
definitely
very
not dropping the points in the games they should be dropping them in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like they're dropping them in the games that you should be flying
right.
by.
Our whole point here is that if you looked at a form chart or like a momentum chart, Arsenal's like negative. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that's the concern right now. On paper, of course, everyone can just say, "Oh, but they're still top. They're still top. They're, whatever." But you know,
yeah. Everton have the same form in the last 5 games as Arsenal. Yeah,
I have a question for you guys. I don't know how much longer you guys want to talk about this, but let's say Arteta finished second in the Prem, lost in the Champions League final, lost in the FA Cup final, and lost in the Carabao Cup final. Okay, so he made it all. He played every game of the season, right? In that context, would you sack him?
I don't know if I would. I feel like good managers are tough to come by, and I think we've seen in the Premier League especially that it's not always the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But I've spoken to two of my Arsenal fan friends who have both said independently, without any prompting, if we go trophyless, Arteta out. So I mean,
You
I
think the
think
grass
that
is always
matters
greener?
more.
You think the
Huh?
grass is always greener?
I don't know. I mean, I think like for them, it's just such a frustrating situation. I think as an independent viewer, you can look at it and see like that is such a success. Like it's even more success than they've experienced in the past with Arteta. And so at the very least, things are still moving in the right direction.
Technically,
And you got to stick with it, in my opinion. But I can totally understand how frustrating it must be for the fan of a team to always be knocking on the door and never getting there, and then at some point you're like, okay, there's like something wrong with the mentality at the club, and the only way to really change that is by changing the manager. The manager is the culture setter. So
got him.
I would say I'm conflicted. I would also say I wouldn't sack Arteta, and that's because I also don't agree with the personnel that he has. At the same time, is he the one bringing in the personnel? Is he the one deciding who they bring in?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like also you deserve some blame there. I think they will. I think they would. I think they would. That's the best way I can say it. I think they would. I don't think I would, but I would be extremely on the fence. And I want to see how like Arteta reacts.
We're watching it from like a third person point of view, like as objectively as possible, right? Because we're not emotionally attached to Arsenal. So from our perspective, it's like, bro, 3 seasons ago, you were like making fun of Unai Emery for saying good evening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you were like 7th and 8th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And before that, you had troops like about to like burst like a blood vessel, screaming Wenger out. So it feels like, okay, bro, you watched every game of the season. You watched your team in the Champions League final. You watched your team to the last day in the Prem. You know, maybe, and then, you know, the ideas start creeping in. Maybe it's just the players are balling it. Maybe it's not Arteta. Maybe we just need to shift some of these guys out. But I mean, at the end of the day, you could also easily go with the side of maybe he's just not the guy to get us over the line, right?
Yeah, and that happens all the time. But the other thing is, like, and I think people just completely ignore this part, especially in football, where it's just like in basketball, they're a lot better about this, where it's like if you fire your coach, you have someone else in mind that you think can get you over the hump. In football, it's just like fire the coach and figure out the rest later. Like, who's gonna like if there's someone that you can point to and be like, that's the guy who's had success and he's like he gets people over the line and we need him, then I can kind of understand it. But just being like, okay, Arteta hasn't done it, let's get him out and then let's like meet and figure out who we're going to replace him with.
Yeah, like if you're getting Fabregas, are you moving? Sorry, I was just gonna say, if you get Fabregas, are you moving forward? Like, are you, if you get Fabregas, are you like, getting Fabregas is like someone leaving their like misses, gives them like 90% of the things they want in life, for someone that gives them like 50%, hoping they can increase in potential.
Right. Like that's like Arteta, but just with like increased uncertainty. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, I think, like, could you say that's similar to what Laporta did with Flick? I know we haven't really necessarily done anything different with Flick on paper than we did with Xavi, but do you think he ended up sacking Xavi just because he saw Flick available?
Yeah. I think that is what the reporting was, right?
Yeah. It was similar. It was strange. I mean, that whole thing was strange. He like begged him
It
to
was
stay.
strange because we renewed our confidence in Xavi, then figured out Flick, like we could get Flick in and then got rid of Xavi. Like Xavi was about to leave, we convinced Xavi to stay, then we sacked Xavi, then we bring, like, that's clearly like I mean, I don't know how Laporta moves. He's kind of
Yeah, I
between.
mean, okay. So then, I guess, do you guys see anybody available like that instead of Arteta? If Arteta got sacked,
I would say that, like, no. No.
Amorim. The dude has the confidence that Arteta lacks. That's for sure.
That's where we wrap up the pod.
Yeah,
that's a good. I mean, he does have the confidence.
he does have the confidence. All right. Well, I think we could call it there. This has been the A.K.A. podcast. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done this. This has been the A.K.A. podcast. I'm Ahmed. With me, I've been Karam and Amr. Thank you for listening.
Next episode, we're celebrating our 5-0 win against Atletico. Actually, no. Hopefully, we do one before that. We do one
We'll
before
try to do one before that.
Bye.
We do one before that.